Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
no motion to adjourn, we just got
It'll
in.
be a record-breaking meeting.
Boy, you spoiled this man. Okay, our Ministry of Matters, you have anything at the,
Just 2 sets of minutes.
okay.
Nothing
Board
to
member
sign?
report?
Nothing to sign?
Vote. Anything,
No?
any report from the member? Well, I do have one. I have Sunday, I went on, what do you call it,
Jim did not send a memo for tonight.
on the back of the house where Mr. Hallory has the place.
Yep.
And I went there twice. The window were open. I stayed there for maybe 10 minutes. I didn't smell anything. Okay? So maybe it is when the wind, you know what I mean? There's some odor
Well,
was come up.
Nope.
I think Brad pretty much,
Did
you
you go
know,
by
put
that?
it out that they're probably moving it as soon as they're moving
Yeah,
it.
I mean, here's the
Right,
deal,
right.
Gino. It was a dry year, so it probably didn't compost completely
Right.
last
I
year. We had a
understand that,
drought.
yeah, I understand.
When you break the stuff open,
It does-
especially as he hasn't been turning it, I suspect he hasn't, it's going anaerobic in there, it's gonna smell. So as he's getting rid of it, he's breaking it open and it's
Right,
gonna
I
smell.
understand that.
It's gotta smell so they get it out. You know,
Right,
it's-
you
it's
gotta
just-
get it out, that's it. But I'm saying, I went there and I stay and the neighbors wave at me.
Arguably, he could have been turning it over since spring and that would have reduced the odor, but
Could be, yeah.
that's not where we are.
Question for Shelley on the board member reports, probably isn't, but did we ever, I think it was 63 Foster Street, did we ever get a clarification from Jim?
I'll clarify that for you if you want to do that one right now. So,
I don't know if you want to do it within the board member reports, but we
want to
can.
do it now or do
Yeah,
minutes?
it's up to
All
you,
right. So,
Mr. Chairman.
all this is
Yes.
really, do you want to do it?
No, no, go ahead. What do you, go ahead. I was trying to read it. Tell me, come in.
So basically all it is that back in the 90s, this person applied for a permit, and when she filled the application out, she filled it out for 4 bedrooms. So the permit was written up as a 4-bedroom. But the plan says 5-bedroom, and the flow calculations are for a 5-bedroom. So Jim has shown that it has the design flow for a 5-bedroom. The permit is inaccurate in being a 4-bedroom, but he doesn't want to change a 20-year-old permit. So he just wants to have a memo in the folder saying this discrepancy has been brought up, it's been reviewed, per his memo, that the flow is for a 5-bedroom, should it have to be upgraded, it's gonna be a 5-bedroom. So if this comes up 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when none of us are involved with this anymore, there'll be a memo in there confirming it's a 5-bedroom.
Why did it come up in the first place? Were they selling it, or was it,
I don't know how it's surfaced, I don't know if I guess they got a Title V done in November of 16, so that's probably when it came up. And so Jim just wanted to clean it up and have it clarified that it is
as if
for
you already had done
a
something like
5-bedroom.
that? So it
There
seems
was-
awful familiar.
Yeah, I think there was another one that was similar, but
Yeah.
older, but, so why not
We
Well,
had it
47
before.
Foster was.
40, I think it was, so why not just reissue the permit and clean it up that way?
Well, because then technically they have to pay a permit fee and
It's over
have a new
200.
permit issued, and so,
It seems to me cleaner, because so by putting a memo in 5, 10 years down the road,
Might get lost.
they're, yeah, I mean, who's gonna read it? They're gonna have this same circular discussion.
If the permit shows up,
Yeah.
then whoever.
Then there's
buys the house-
someone at some point down the road is gonna go, well, they've got this permit for a 4-bedroom, and now there's this note. and-
Think about it, John, if they're gonna go in and look for the old permit anyways, if they
Yeah.
have to look for the old permit, there's gonna be a letter in there.
yeah, so I mean, I would just staple the memo to the existing permit
I'm comfortable with the permit.
with
I
a
mean,
copy of the set of minutes that it was
with
discussed, and it's.
the memo is fine.
Um,
I mean, I get where you're coming from, it'd be cleaner, but there seems like there's
And
other
there
barriers.
is,
All right,
this,
well,
no, there is this Title V from November, and it does list it as a 5, so, it's been.
As long as the flow's 5,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the
All
main
right.
thing.
all right.
So it was really, it kind of became confusing, it was sort of just something that was found and wanted to get cleaned up.
We're easily confused, too, so.
All right, so that's that. And then, so Richard Halloran has requested from your order letter a hearing, so you just need to set a day and time for the hearing.
Well,
So, it can be the next meeting, which would be
The 9th.
May 9th.
we can do that. May 9 be fine?
When is the town meeting, is
Our meeting
first
is
and
May
second?
1st,
May
and
1st,
possibly
the election is
second.
second.
So the next scheduled board.
When
health
is the
meeting
elections?
The
The
6th,
6th.
May 6th.
So,
I won't be here, I don't care.
this was your, probably your last meeting?
Yeah.
Oh,
Probably gotta take a look.
Probably Gina's too.
yeah.
Please regard what he says.
I heard the Russians hacked his.
I know he don't like me.
It's only
Okay.
Gina,
The
Gina.
rumor.
Really schedule a meeting for the 2nd because if town meeting carries over.
Oh,
we
I
can't
know
have
it.
any
Oh.
meetings, So it's
Yep.
really, you're looking at the 9th.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the soonest we can do it, that's fair.
Okay.
So are you, you would be officially done at the election or
At
once,
the election,
once someone
Sworn in and,
Sworn
Once
in.
she's sworn in.
sworn in.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be here the night, though, I'll tell you that.
And I would say,
Wanna see what
I would
happens.
say she wouldn't participate in that.
Right.
I'm only saying she because I think the other person dropped out, so I'm
Yes,
just
I
saying
think
she's
so.
winning. Because to try to catch up on it
Right.
in 3 days, I don't think.
Would you
she-
be available as an interested
Sure.
party?
I mean, you could certainly write something up as what your comments are to it or whatever, but I mean.
She's actually been coming to the meetings,
Yeah.
so she might be ready.
Okay,
It's possible. I think she's coming tonight, too.
okay. So,
You better hurry up.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I'll put it on for May 9th at 7:15.
All right.
And so then the other outstanding thing that I had was the deed restriction discussion. So it looks like you guys talked about that at a couple meetings, and it seems like you just want these deed restrictions to all come to the board, and you guys make the decisions?
Well, it seems like that should be the way, but if you're getting, when I started thinking over like that, the Durkee development, whatever they call it, and you've got a bunch of houses down there, they're probably pretty much cookie cutters, not that the design is all the same, but he wanted to do about half of them, if I remember right,
Right.
with,
Then he wanted half
So,
of it.
if we had a different agent who I didn't think was so competent, I'd probably want them to come to the board. But how often do we disagree with Jim on this sort of thing?
probably not at all.
So, like, let's save everybody some grief.
I just would like to see it written a little tighter.
I don't have a problem with that. I think
Yeah.
it should be a tight policy.
Yeah.
But I do think there are certain things that we can trust Jim with,
No, I agree.
and we can save some people some
Sometime.
attorney
I
fees
just
and
wanna have
engineer
it
fees.
Focus. so
I don't
that
have
it's
I don't have a problem with that. I
Well, and
agree.
it's-
It should be a clear policy.
And in fact, I think, right, that way that gives Jim clear guidance what
Yeah.
we're thinking, and then we become a appeals board to whatever Jim says. If Jim says no, but then it gives the owner an opportunity to come to us and ask us to, because
Right.
it's not, Jim's isn't binding, right?
Right.
So I
So-
think that seems reasonable.
You're more comfortable in that if it's a basement, you're okay with him signing it, or if it's one room, you're okay with signing it, or,
Well, that's where I think we need to tighten up the policy, as Aaron suggests. to
so
be very
what
clear.
is it you guys want, so we can rewrite it?
Well, it needs to be a existing space, not additional space.
Okay, so
onto the
anything
house.
that's
So,
new
That bears some
construction?
discussion, because I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, there's certain regulations that prohibit new spaces, which Jim's knows and he would bring to us anyhow. But from my perspective, I don't see a difference if it's new or existing, if it meets a certain criteria. And, so,
Especially in new homes, too.
Well, it all depends on what you mean.
and what's the basement in Durkee? Is that a new space or an existing?
It's existing. It's part of the approved.
It's a whole new
Yeah.
building.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's already permitted.
Yeah, so, right, so I would say, I mean, I don't know if existing space is the right way to put it, because I think when you say existing space, some of the, I don't know, ambiguity is a brand-new house with a
Right.
unfinished basement, or a walk-up attic, or a room above a garage, right?
Could be a room in a barn, too.
Room in a
We've had-
barn.
We've had rooms in
I,
a barn.
I like the idea of, personally, of basing it on the existing footprint, as opposed to new space or whatever, saying, these deed restrictions
So
is
is a dormer
reasonable.
attic space a new space?
No, again, it's part of the existing footprint, so it falls under that, I think it's
I'd be
reasonable.
fine with that.
So it's not adding, so adding to the existing footprint would be an actual addition to the house.
So let me ask you a question, though, just to play devil's advocate. I honestly don't care that much, but, so I do a small addition, a 10 by 12 addition on my house.
Yeah.
What's the difference,
Well,
as far as
then
we're
you would-
concerned?
Well, they,
You'd come here and we'd
And we'd
talk
be okay.
about
No,
it.
I know, but why? What would,
There would
pro-
be
what
a
is,
boundary.
what
What
would
the
prompt them,
purpose?
what would prompt that coming here versus somebody doing an existing 10 by 12 garage? What's the difference as far as we're concerned? They're already gonna have to get a building permit, so they're going through all that.
right.
What's the difference as far as the septic goes, whether they build a 10 by 12 addition or they have a 10 by 12 existing garage that they're finishing?
Because we're taking their word for it that the 10 by 12 addition's not going to fit under that auspices of what or standard of what another bedroom is, right? And 10 by 12 addition is,
Oh, Jim's looking at it.
right,
We're taking Jim's word for it, not
Right.
theirs.
you know,
So, and
If
Jim
it's a
can
gar-
look at it. So, I honestly, I'm not gonna push it, but I don't see much difference between a 10 by 12 addition or a 10 by 12 garage when Jim's looking at it and you can apply the same criteria. There are certain
think
regulations that
maybe-
come into play that might require
because
comeback.
because
but-
it's well, not sloppy, that's a poor way to put it, because it's ambiguous enough that we will, so I'm using an argument I hate using, and that's the slippery slope argument. 10 by 12 seems fine, but then what if it's something else and something else? You could go down, the less tight it is, the less unambiguous it is, you could get down a road where all sorts of crazy things could happen. You'll go, but this is only just a little bit different from that, which was only a little bit different from that, which is only a little bit. If we make it a little bit tighter, yeah, that puts a little bit, potentially puts a little bit more work to the board, because, and people coming to us, but if they're putting on an addition, the time they have to spend to this board and bringing their architect with is small change compared to
It's a
putting.
few $100 is a few $100.
Yeah, it is, I'm
But
just
there's a
saying.
there's a different, if you build at a garage, the inspector will control it. He has to get a permit for the.
No, I
He's gotta get a permit
Yeah.
for all of
You
it.
gotta
Jim.
get a permit regardless.
So I think
No, no,
the
if it's
way,
a-
the way you should
the garage,
maybe think
it
about
has nothing to do
looking
with
at it
whatever.
is instead of whether it's existing or new, is, so the way Jim does it is by the number of rooms. So
Yeah.
whenever
Yeah, that's what
anybody
you-
comes in with
That's what you're
anything,
supposed to do, it's rooms or
Okay.
bedrooms, that's
Right.
what you
existing
need
layout
on.
of the
Right.
house and the new layout of the house. And in a lot of these cases with these smaller houses, especially these two-bedroom
Right.
things, they'll tear a wall down to make a kitchen dining room now, just one big kitchen, so that they can get that extra room.
Right.
So I think Jim was trying to put it in that if it's just that one additional room over that allowed room count. So in a two-bedroom, you can have 5 rooms. If it was that 6th room, he could sign it. But
Right.
if they were trying to make 7 rooms, it's gotta come here.
Right.
If it's
I'm
a
fine with that.
three-bedroom, then you got 7 rooms. So if it goes to the 8th room, he can sign it. What I just wanna throw out there, though, is there's a zoning bylaw amendment on town meeting for, to change the accessory dwelling bylaw, and it's essentially going to allow people to not, they can be now rental units, and it's,
Bang, bang, remember that one?
Right.
so you're gonna get people that are now going to create these units in their houses and separate their houses,
Right.
which,
In-law,
well, I
They call it
considered it
in-law.
two-family because it's 2 separate dwellings, but they're calling it an accessory dwelling, but, so you're gonna get if in fact that passes, there's gonna be some of these that you're getting this whole room reconfiguration thing. Now, I think any of those should come here, because
right.
that's like,
that is true.
That's a different,
so, you know, I don't know if you just wanna have them all come here, and that's the way it is, instead of, I mean, and it's totally up to you
so
guys.
I think it's still worth, or I'm still comfortable even with that, with Jim's assessment.
Of
and
the
if-
one room over.
Well,
is-
no, just
or-
Jim being making the decision,
I'm okay with the
and
one
then
room.
we're the, yeah, that sort of
One room should be
wording
the
could be in
threshold, I
there.
think.
But Jim,
But
But
anything
again,
that's
we're-
in an accessory dwelling or a new apartment or a new
Or-
something comes here.
or anything that
Right.
the applicant
No, they-
doesn't agree with.
They'd have to have
Then
it
they
in
can appeal
plans.
to here.
They just
Yeah.
can't add something
Right,
on.
they gotta
that's
have
what I
a
mean,
plan,
yeah.
they gotta-
And
they
keep in mind,
gotta
we're not
come.
saying it's not gonna get reviewed by anybody, it's just it gets reviewed by Jim, and do we need to look at it
That's
again?
right.
And I have a,
Well-
if we had somebody else, I'd say
And
it
try
might
it
not be so.
out, see how it works.
Yeah.
Maybe that Jim maybe retire and be somebody else.
Well, and then we
Yeah.
change the policy.
Yeah.
But
can
I
always
think it
change
would be
policy.
good, we can always go a step further, but I think it would be good to You know, what you were talking about was where's the boundary
Mm-hmm.
on the decision, and I think, you know, we go this far and see how it goes, and we can always push it out
Right,
later if it makes sense, but it sounds like one room and existing footprint might be a good place to start.
I'm okay with the one room, but not the existing footprint. It just seems arbitrary to me. Nobody's given me a good reason why an existing footprint room is different from a new addition room, other than, oh, it might be a slippery slope, which is every cheap regulator's excuse for
Yeah,
everything.
I would agree it's a
You can
slippery
tell
slope.
it's,
Right. It's a mystery.
So, what's the verdict? We're just staying as is and letting Jim,
Make a motion, I'll get outvoted, and you guys can move on.
So you can, I mean, make,
I'll leave it up to you guys, I entertain a motion.
so it's,
then? I
well,
think we-
well, it sounds like it needs to be drafted a little bit tighter.
Does it make sense to kind of wait to see what you guys get out of town meeting on this accessory dwelling thing as well?
you might.
I think it'd be
that's a
better
good
to wait
idea.
until next,
Yeah, that's a good
next
idea.
meeting. That be all right with you?
But you're still bound, no matter what comes out of there, they're bound to Title V.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Jim's still
yeah.
gonna look at it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those will be new footprints.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
because the other thing that this bylaw proposes is in detached buildings. So if you have a detached garage or a barn, it's going to allow them in those too.
I know what you're
Now,
voting
that
for.
you get into
I gotta look
the
that up.
whole
I-
situation of connections and
That's the
and
one Jen
whatnot.
Stack went nuts over in town meeting a couple of years ago.
We'll leave it for the.
So
next
yeah, I
meeting.
mean, if you wanna wait and see how that one pans out,
At the town meeting first.
let me just ask though, what's the sense of the board right now as far as, so Aaron was more for that one additional room is okay if it's in the existing footprint. Brad, you don't.
I like the one
care
existing
where it
room.
is,
I don't-
one
I
existing
haven't heard a
room.
good reason why the
What's your feeling
footprint
on it? I
comes
mean,
in.
let's get a sense of where we're at with what's here and see if we can just,
Well, my opinion is you're still locked into room count and bedroom count. There's no changing that.
right.
So when you add a room, you're doing it to still stay within it, but it's allowing somebody to put something in that's not gonna be a bedroom. That's what the whole
Like a-
purpose
And,
of
and that
that is.
wording's going on building
Right.
permits
A living
now,
room
too.
or a.
So it isn't a case of,
Playroom.
Between both.
you know, so I don't see where we've had a problem with it in the past. I don't know why you'd have to change it. I think you look at the whole picture of how many bedrooms, how old's the system, blah, 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 and that type of stuff, and then you make a judgment on that. That's my opinion.
So
So here's another one though, like, do you care whether it's a 2-bedroom that you're adding these extra rooms versus a 5-bedroom? Or does that room thing not matter? I mean, I'm just,
no, again, I think the genesis of this is over at least the 2 years I've been involved, is people coming and saying, well, we've got this basement, we've got 2 young kids, we want a playroom for them because we're tired of stepping on Legos. So, but if we do that, we're now over the +1, or we're, those sorts of things. And we're like, all right, how can we do this? Well, we could do deed restriction, and we just want to be uniform about it, right? I think that's the genesis, and that's why, for me, I would align more with what Aaron is suggesting. I think the +1, it still brings in the count,
But we've
The
also
room
seen
count.
situations where folks come in and they have a garage they want to make into a workout room or an office or a study or something like that.
And-
That's
and-
happened as well.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
fine too. But, again, I think the wording, outside of having to tighten it up, still provides Jim with that authority to make the decision, and then, but we're the appeals board if the
I'm fine with the
owner
appeals.
doesn't like it.
All right.
And we might still go with what Jim
The other
says.
thing, John, is that we've had people come in with a very small house, 1,200 square feet,
Yeah,
and they asked to finish a room in the basement, and we've, usually granted a deed restriction.
right.
But you post that up against something that's like Sudbury Road, where the foundation is 3,000 square feet, and that whole thing is one
And
room.
that's the, I mean, I
so
think
you-
that's the discretion.
So you
need
have to
use.
look at
Yep,
it as,
absolutely.
as every case.
No, that's, absolutely. It has to be a case by case, because you're right. It's, I mean, you could end up adding 1,500, 2,000 square foot to a house. right?
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear on what you wanted to do. Do you want us to see everything come here?
No, I'm willing to let Jim take a shot at it, and I think what Shelley's trying to do is get it, kind of how the board feels to, you're gonna relay that back to Jim,
Yeah, so
saying
we'll
that
reword
we have
this.
issues on this, maybe he could give us some guidance on what John suggestion, or Brad, or me, or,
But the accessory
they
dwelling,
do other towns.
sorry, Peter, the accessory dwelling, I think inherently is gonna mean a bedroom.
Right, and he, in his comments, said anything that's more than one room would come here, and so an
Or,
accessory
but it's also
dwelling unit-
designated, I mean, a lot of those, I mean, the whole reason they're doing
Right,
that
right.
is so they can have a bedroom,
Right.
you know.
So anything that's not just like one additional room, he's saying would come here. But are you all okay with whether it's a new or in the existing house or an addition? Is it okay that it's just one additional room? I'm just trying to figure out the best way to word this to.
Well, I'm still holding with the footprint, so it wouldn't be an addition.
That way we know. Well, you need a motion from the board?
Well, the only trouble is if you make it black and white, that it's the footprint, then if somebody comes in, then you're locked into doing that.
No, I
No, it
think,
just gives the board the decision versus Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we're doing is ceding authority to Jim.
yeah,
Well, okay.
I
Yeah,
just don't see
that's-
any reason not to let him do it there, but that's my thing, so.
yeah, I think it makes it a little more black and white for Jim, and then
So
based
you're
on
giving
Jim's review, we would,
Direction to Jim and not necessarily to what the homeowner's gonna do.
Or you're limiting Jim the discretion to when it's in the existing
No,
footprint.
I'd go along with that, I think.
And if there's a problem, Jim will say, well, you have to go to the board.
well, yeah, Jim would say, well,
I
look,
think Jim always has a discretion where there's something
Yeah.
weird there. I mean,
Right.
He's not
I'd look at it a
comfortable
little,
with it,
if they
he's
start
gonna
adding
go in the
bathrooms
second.
off the
Right.
room, I'd
Yeah.
be a little,
Yeah.
yeah,
If he thinks it's, like, like you said, if it's like more than half the square footage of the house, go to the board,
you
you
know.
know?
I would suggest that a lot of this is based on Jim and his competence.
Mm-hmm.
So the board, if things change over there, would need to reconsider this policy.
Would it be good to see if we could get him in sometime and?
Yeah, I
It's
think that
just-
would be
He's
really
just not
good.
available on Tuesday nights.
I know,
so
that's
unless
the
you
problem.
change the night of your
Actually,
meetings, it's-
Boy
Boy
Scouts,
Scout,
I think it should say in there that,
we can make that on
whatever we
Wednesday.
put there, based on his discretion, so he'd always have the option to send it to us.
Right.
If,
well, I
you know,
think
even
he
if
would
it met the
anyways,
kind of
yeah.
the baseline criteria that, well, if a lawyer got a hold of it.
All right, so we're gonna change the wording to just have more about room count, bedroom count, and existing footprint is what one additional room, he would sign, and everything else
That
comes to
he'd
the
be
board.
allowed to sign at his
At
discretion.
his discretion, and everything else comes to the board. Okay.
Okay, you don't need a motion for that, right?
Nope.
All right,
Okay.
anything else?
We got the,
Correspondence?
minutes.
Minutes, yeah,
There
okay,
was
let's do the minutes. I
one
don't think
set of
I have-
minutes, I don't think,
You got a minute there?
Did you need a set? I didn't need a set back.
I've already read
There's
them.
an extra set here if you need
Yep.
it.
well, I might have missed something, but
Oh, everybody got it?
Yep.
You got the minute?
So there should be two sets,
You got
March
the minute?
28th
Yep.
and.
Everybody got the minute?
yeah. The
Wow,
one I
they don't like me, I
kind of would like a little enlightenment
Oh, I have.
enlightenment on is March 28th, discussion, 9 Ipswich. Here's a fella that came in, and he wanted to get a deed restriction, which we did. But it said, on the bottom, Mr. Yap made a motion to approve the office, wait a minute now, above the garage, that's the problem, is
Oh,
they, 9 Ipswich was
That was
just
a
a
basement, 9
basement.
Ipswich is a basement.
So that's wrong, that motion there.
Can we read this already?
Okay, yep, so that should be the basement.
Because I saw the 5 conditions, I'm going, we didn't put 5 conditions on. But now re-looking at it, it's above the garage.
Per plan. So I'm gonna just change that wording to finished basement per plan submitted.
Sounds good. Boy, the ticks have been awful.
Oh, smokes. I'm
Yeah.
pulling them off left and right off our dogs.
How do you find them on your nose?
No
Jesus
kidding.
Christ. Spray mine with a pyrethroid. Doesn't go anywhere near my tail.
Oh, yeah?
Prometheus.
Yeah.
Do you use the drops at all?
I tried them on my last dog, and I could never get enough. It goes in their lymph system, and I could never get it on. Fur was too thick.
Yeah.
Might work on the new one, but I just use the spray every couple of
No, I
weeks.
have one of those natural sprays and it works.
Hmm.
It's got lemongrass in it and
We-
surprisingly.
Well, when you get a dog that runs through acres and acres of fields and stuff, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, how it would work.
I use the synthetic pyrethroids myself. It works really good.
Does it?
Use what?
Synthetic pyrethroids.
Oh, yeah?
I'm all set, Mr. Chairman, anytime you
I'm all
are.
set, Mr. Chairman.
I do, I'm all set. Motion, I entertain a motion?
For which one?
28th?
April 11th?
No, we're on the 28th right now.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 28th, 2017,
As amended,
as amended.
second it?
I only heard it, April 11th. Oh, dear.
Gino, we're in March, buddy. Okay.
I need to, one second. What you got? I got April 11th. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, they're practically the same. Poor kid, all right.
Yeah, the question I have is, we had asked if Jim was gonna routinely check the site, once a week if he had time
At Harwood?
at Howard. Did
Yeah,
he,
he's been going out there.
has he issued any statement or anything? Is he saying Howard? Or he just didn't get around to doing the letter?
Well, he sent it, because she sent it to the selectmen too, so he sent a response to Keith, which I thought I forwarded to you guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
he?
saw that. That's the one I responded to.
Yeah, and then Brad responded to that,
Oh,
so that
okay.
was the last one.
Yeah, but I
So,
thought he did that before our meeting.
that was April 19th that he sent that.
It was subsequent to that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys left that too, there, haven't you?
You know, Gino, if you got your emails, you can read
Be
these.
nice.
That's-
Be nice.
You've got to clean your email
I-
out.
My email, I just got it.
Always bounces back.
Wait a minute, this is because Verizon went with AOL, so don't give me no trouble. I didn't have any email for 2 weeks. Now I'm getting,
I'm gonna
I'm
make
getting-
you a Gmail account.
I told them
Gino.
I'm gonna
Well,
change
actually,
company.
someone told me that
I'm
mine
gonna
was
change the
bouncing
company.
too, but I've been getting a lot of them, a lot of emails.
Yours have all been,
Yeah.
they're not coming back.
I'm
to
getting
me.
100 a day, let
Yeah,
me tell
but-
you, somebody's
Back
getting
to
through.
me.
You have AOL from Verizon?
AOL.
Yeah, how come it took me 2 weeks to get it straightened out? I told the ladies I'm gonna change company. We'll take care of it right away, we'll take care of it right away. I finally got it.
All right.
Now you can.
Okay.
How
you
those
can-
minutes looking
We
there,
have a
Gino?
vote on the
you can say-
motion?
You can send me the email now.
We have a motion for the 28th minutes.
In a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
My God, you make me
John, are
read
you
so
voting on
fast.
those? You weren't there.
I abstain.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 11th, 2017.
Second.
Oh, now you son of a gun.
I was
All
going in
right.
chronological order,
Why
Gino.
did we go first on April that I already read and then go on March? Yeah, you guys drive me crazy.
We're gonna
Oh, yeah, I
vote?
got another one.
call the vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 We're adjourned.
All right,
Second.
Just before we adjourn,
wait a minute. You guys, I really drive this poor man crazy today. It's only 7:30, you wanted, somebody
didn't-
made a motion to adjourn?
Let Peter talk.
Peter is.
Get
I want to take this moment to thank Brad for putting in 3 years. It's a lot of work, and he did a good job being chairman,
Yeah,
and I think the town owes him a big,
a big hug.
Well, thanks, I enjoyed working with you all. So
but,
I'm going to try to stay out of here in the
forgive you.
future, though.
yeah, there you go.
Stick within my existing footprint.
We forgive you for your behavior. All right, the entertainment is,
Someone made,
Made a motion
Aaron and
to
Brad.
adjourn?
Brad
All
made
in
the
favor?
his final
Aye.
motion.
Aye.
Jeez, O'Neill, what am I gonna do now? We go to the shop.